games for the Meteors, despite not finishing game number 2. 188 goals against average and a .937 save percentage. On the other side, James Gall for your Brantford Titans is 0-2 in the series as Lucas Bergman took the loss in game number 3. We are underway. Starting up front is Caleb Frank, Connor Clark, and Ty McCutcheon, lined up against Tate Donald, Sam Tonelli, and Colton Radford. On the back end for the Titans, Bandu and Takis, your deep pairing, and Masterson and Mazzotti for the Meteors. Here's Radford firing a shot that James Gall had a little bit of trouble with, but he's able to find the rebound, and the rough stuff gets going early, right off the hop. 21 seconds in, we've got our first whistle. Meteors have put on an offensive clinic in the last 2, an 8-2 victory in game 2, a 9-2 win in game 3. That game 3 win included 5 power play goals for the Meteors as well. Your referees, Eric Robertson, Brian Burkhoff, Alex Visoyan, and Braden Ilkema are working the lines for this one in a busy Friday night around the Greater Ontario Hockey League. A number of teams looking to clinch their spot in round number 2, much like the Cambridge Redhawks did one night ago against the Caledonia Corvairs in that 4-game sweep. Back to the Titans line. This is Takis. He'll look ahead, send it up that left side. Intended target was McCutcheon. Couldn't handle the pass. Now Brandon comes the other way, gets in over the Titans line. Poked it to Mason Takis, off of McCutcheon. It'll get back out to the neutral zone, and the Meteors will chip it back in. Clearing attempt failed, held on by Brandon. That went off the stick of Inzers, racing to the near side, O'Farrell. He'll send it into the Titan zone. Now it's Louis Inzers up at forward for this one. Can play both ways. Both as a defenseman if you need him, or if you need him up front, he can play that role too. A huge hit by Kim LeMay below the goal line. Physical presence early. Here's O'Farrell. That puck will go off a skate. Steered away by Gall as he directed it to the end boards. Fort Erie looking to set up. There's a shot that's knocked away. Another try out front. That may have hit the side of the cage or the toe of James Gall. Either way, it remains scoreless. Adamo now looks out front, had no lane. Mazzotti back at the line. He opened the scoring in game number 3. And now he's got it in the neutral zone as his team will begin a change up front. Cunningham fresh onto the ice for the Meteors. Dumped in. James Gall will stop it at the side of his net. Leave it for David Buckman. Gauthier tried to come near side to Clark. That got blocked. And then it hit Gauthier and went back into the Meteors zone. Approaching 2.5 gone. No score here in game number 4. Up the right side, Poirier directed one on goal. Gall steered it away off the glass and behind the cage. Wicklander, he's got goals in back-to-back games for the Titans. It'll get chipped to the far corner. Glowacki didn't see it at first. Now he'll retrieve it. Alan Watt up ahead to Clark. His pass gets knocked out of the air. Titans would have been offside if Wicklander would have touched that. Back to the Brantford line. There's a shot along the ice. Gall kicks it away with the right leg. Cressman going to dump it to the near corner. Meteors once again changing. So Watt has a bit of time to exit the zone. Backhand pass to McCutcheon. He's got Frank with him. McCutcheon from the right side to Frank. Throws it across. And that's just out of the reach of Caden Wicklander. Bandu poked the puck free. Caleb Frank comes back to lay a hit along the boards. Battle for the puck in the corner. Reese Mateer is there. Bandu pins him against the wall. McCutcheon and Coley battle for it also. Zimmerman in the area code 2. Takis knocked down. Took a stick with him. Out in front. Gall makes the save. And the rebound poked wide. A collision in front too. We remain scoreless. Approaching 4 minutes gone. Nice pace to start game 4. O'Farrell to Zimmerman. His pass to the middle to Mateer, and he is stopped by Gall. And he will hang on for a face-off. 4:02 into period number 1. Tonelli against Kim LeMay on the face-off. Puck out to the neutral zone where Mazzotti picks it up. He'll send it all the way across. Long-range shot is easily handled by James Gall to the corner. Tonelli picked up the loose puck, watched by Christie. Kim LeMay with a backhander to David Buckman. Buckman will send it up the wall. Inzer's got a touch on it out to center. Masterson sent it right back in. It'll go all the way around for David Buckman in the corner. Off the boards to Gavin Christie. His pass out of the reach of Inzer's. Kept onside by Masterson. Tried to throw it to the front of the net. That got blocked. Sam Tonelli on the far side. Donald sends it back up top to the captain, Masterson. Bradford lost the handle for a second. Fighting with Christie to get the puck back. Knocked away. Back to the far corner. Radford one more time. There's Sam Tonelli. Up top, Masterson. That shot will get blocked. Buckman whacked at the rebound, missed it, but luckily Christie was right there. Now Buckman with a bit of time and space to move up. He'll gain the red line, send it off the stick of the goaltender Tremblay, and he'll head off on a change. Wholesale swap for the Titans. Watt got tied up. Up the boards away from Papel. Capel knocked Adamo down at the blue line. Glowacki now goes around his own cage. Capel now in the neutral zone in a Meteor territory. He got checked as he entered the zone. Papel there fighting for it. Couldn't get possession. Now here's Watt. Watt will go to Glowacki. He'll let one go, and that got redirected just wide of the cage. Owen tried to send it back in deep. That got picked off. Papel gives a shot to his man. Watt once again at the line. Will send it off a leg. Glowacki had his stick tied up and a chance for an odd man rush the other way. 3-on-1 of the Meteors. Here's Brandon firing, and that just missed. Tried to go short side on James Gall, but that was covered by the Titans netminder. As it'll get shot back into the Meteors zone by Glowacki. He'll come off on a change. 6:20 into the first period. Still no score, Titans and Meteors. In game 4 of this first round matchup, Meteors on top, 3-0. Stick lift. Puck will slide to the boards. This is Reese Mateer. It's sent back up top. Cressman near side. Here's O'Farrell. His shot will get blocked as Clark got in the way of that. Thorpe races across near side. Rolling puck to the front of the net. Poirier tried to get a look on goal, but never really did get a handle of that frozen rubber. And now it's up into the netting and out of play. Eric Robertson will skate over, give a couple of guys a warning before we get back underway. 2 stick jabs exchanged before that face-off. Into the corners, Mason Takis. He'll rim it around for Bandu as he checks back into the lineup. Wicklander throws it near side. Clark is there. Got a whack on the puck, but missed. Sharp angle try. That hit the outside of the post as Wicklander looked for the game's first goal. There's a battle out in front. That was Scriven tying things up. Just looking for an inside body position in front of the cage. Takis up the left wing side. He'll now cut to the middle. Takis still with the puck. Into the Meteor zone. Has Clark with him and gives it to him. Clark to Frank, and he missed the net. Actually may have caught Mason Takis as he was skating in behind, and then it slides to the front. And Tremblay gets the glove on it. Elsewhere around the GOHL, St. Catharines looking to finish off the Air Centennials. They lead that series 3-1, and they're currently up 2-0, about to start the second period in St. Catharines. In Port Colborne, it's the Pelham Panthers looking to sweep away the Sailors, and the Panthers currently with a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes. In St. Thomas, the Stars hosting the Chatham Maroons. No score there with just under 14 minutes to go in the first period. Strathroy St. Mary's also scoreless with 13.5 to go in period number 1. And finally, London and Stratford also scoreless with just over 13 minutes left in the first period in Stratford. No goals here yet. Titans and Meteors. Turnaround shot will miss the net, go off the glass. Mazzotti moved deep into the O-zone. Two number 24s come together below the goal line. Christie took a bump from Coley. Puck to the side of the cage. Gall is there to make the save, and he's on top of the rebound. We finally get a whistle after Gall had it covered for about 5 seconds. 11 minutes, 25 seconds to go, first period. Both teams will make changes for the face-off 2 hour left here at the Gretzky Center. Sam Tonelli out for the draw, one of 2 Meteors named to the Eastern Conference All-Star team. Tonelli and Masterson, the 2 Fort Erie Meteors on that list. Cressman set it up for Schmidt. He missed the net high on the one-time attempt. Radford back down low. Backhander out in front got blocked as Tonelli sent it to the goal mouth. It'll once again find Sam Tonelli, the former London Knights draft pick. He battled along the wall against Bandu, who sends it out to center, and Papple's got all kinds of speed up the left side. That'll bounce away from him and Cressman. Radford back to help. Just threw it to the top of the circle. Luckily had some help in the area. Chipped ahead. Bandu got a piece of it. Owen got it away from Tonelli across to Mason Takis. They'll send it off the boards. Meteors will send it right back in, though. Isaac Bandu along the wall, lost it to Tonelli. Puck up for grabs in the Titan zone. Mateo Gauthier will head north. Into the Meteor zone, threw it to the middle. That got picked off. Now Glowacki inside his own zone. Alan Watt will go back to Glowacki. Glowacki did gain center, although one linesman said he did. The other one said he didn't, so we continue. Kim LeMay got a piece of his man. Thorpe with a backhander off the wall. That will stay in the Meteor zone. Off the boards for Gauthier. Just out of his reach to get a piece of it, though. But it was taken by O'Farrell, sent to the far corner, and the Meteors are out to center. Watt got it away from Brandon. He'll now hound Glowacki and knock his stick out of his hand. Glowacki unhappy. Scriven dumps it in. Wicklander took a bump. Puck still at his feet. Scriven there too. Clark thought about heading to the front of the net, decides to go to the circle. Then he might join the fun in the corner. Wicklander and Scriven still fighting for it for the Titans. 9 minutes and change to go. First period, no score. And now potentially a break the other way, but a good stick by Christie as Danny Adamo tried to split the two 16-year-old defensemen. Couldn't do it. Clark's pass goes off of Scriven. Buckman did get it out of the zone. Would have been offside, but the Meteors don't touch. They tag up, and they're good to go back on the attack. Christie has to send it back to the wall, out of danger. Buckman slid it to Wicklander, who's got Clark. He'll just dump it into the Meteor zone. Masterson goes off the glass, back out to center. Titans in the middle of a change, so when Christie has the opportunity to change, he will. Mason Takis up ahead to the far blue line. Backhand pass got blocked. Wicklander back to retrieve it. He will leave it for Takis and go off on a change. So will Gavin Christie. So Bandu on for him. McCutcheon on for Wicklander. Caleb Frank couldn't get around Poirier. And then Poirier laid a hit on Bandu. Isaac Bandu tries to chip it out to center. Does so successfully. Cressman couldn't settle it down. So he'll chase after it. Caleb Frank behind him. And then turned away from the corner. Not sure if he thought he was offside. Well, I can tell you now the Meteors are offside, heading the other way. 7:33 to go in the first period, still no score. Meteors control. Zimmerman poked it into the O-zone. Tack is back to get it. Bank pass to Bandu. He had trouble with it. Zimmerman forced a turnover, but threw it to the front where nobody in black was home. It'll come around to Zimmerman, or it was going to if it didn't hit a certain piece of the boards. Nice job by O'Farrell to keep it alive in the offensive zone. Takis around one. Kim LeMay didn't receive the puck from Gauthier. It remains in the Titan zone. Zimmerman with it. Below the goal line, Zimmerman shields the puck. Up top, O'Farrell. He'll walk in, look for a deflection and got it, but it was deflected wide. Cressman takes a hit. They'll send it out front. Shot attempt did get blocked. Nice job by Takis to protect the puck with his forearm. And he'll chip it down. Gauthier on the forecheck. Inzer's there too. It came right back to Gauthier, side of the cage, now into the slot. No shot yet as Inzer's got held on to. And we continue. 6.25 to go in the first. Zimmerman on the left side. He'll get around Clark. But stopped by Gauthier, and Clark takes the loose puck. Up the left side, Clark cuts to the net. He'll go to the forehand, and he's stopped by Tremblay. And then he threw it back in front. McCutcheon was there, but he couldn't get a touch on it. Glowacki pinned by Radford. Donald there too. 3 Titans against 2 Meteors. Now it's 2v2. Frank receives it at his own blue line. Sends it back across to Glowacki. Watt off the board. Stopped by Mazzotti. Glowacki got it after that. And 3 Meteors ahead, 3-on-2. Thrown to the slot and steered away by James Gall as Sam Tonelli tried to set up the game's first goal. Watt away from Radford. Clark did get a piece of it, so no icing, and he'll come for a change with 5 minutes to go in period 1. Tonelli. Sent back up top. Masterson walks in, and Gall got a piece of it. Directed it to the corner. Adamo tried to send it to the point. That ricocheted to Gavin Christie. We'll send it to David Buckman. Buckman with all kinds of space. Near side for Scriven. Scriven in over the Meteors line. Scriven cuts to the middle. Scriven shoots in. Tremblay the save. Ryan Scriven got the rebound. Clark with a backhander to the front got blocked. Another try. Scriven shot blocked. And the rebound is up off the glass, off the linesman, and out to center. Christie works his way through the middle, now over the Meteor line, and then he got stood up by the captain Masterson. Meteors go the other way. Top of the circle, shots blocked. Another try, and that'll be a slow roller towards the cage, and then it was poked in behind. Schmidt has to go back to the far corner. Buckman gives it to Christie, who takes it from his skate. Clark ahead. That's off of Wicklander. It will go to the side of the net, and Tremblay is on top of it to get a whistle with 3:46 left in the first. Still no score between the Titans and Meteors. Shot advantage for Erie right now, 12-6 in the opening frame. Titans will win that face-off. However, it's Poirier with possession out to center. Bandu got the loose puck. Frank had his pocket picked. And Gall will make the save as the Meteors forcing a turnover in the offensive zone and got a quality look on net. That was Pepperall back into the lineup. James Gall into the butterfly to make the stop. Puck to the slot. That will go wide as Pepperell tried to go against the grain. Alan Watt below the goal line has to turn away from a forechecker. He'll head behind his own cage. Watt goes off of Papel. Papel to Owen. Owen and Cressman deep in the Meteors zone. Poirier gets stopped by Glowacki. Those two will exchange hacks. Watt to Glowacki again. Papel through the middle. He'll fire one in, glove down by Tremblay, and he'll hold on to it. And the referee is pointing at somebody on the Titans bench, whether we're calling a penalty, whether we're giving out warnings. Doesn't look like a penalty is going to come of anything, so Brian Burkov relaying a message to Christian Glowacki. .240 to go, first period. Game 4 between the Titans and Meteors. Zimmerman will chip it off the boards past Gavin Christie. David Buckman, first one there. Calmly backhands one ahead to Louis Inzers. Inzers got the puck past O'Farrell, but he couldn't himself get by. And play is blown dead as we have a puck out of play. Quentin Kim LeMay will win that face-off with help from Gauthier. Gets back to Christie. Off the boards to Buckman. Christie right there to help out his D partner. Thorpe put it past Quentin Kim LeMay. Near side for Zimmerman. He'll just chip it in deep. Off of Christie's stick. Puck still behind the cage now at the side of the goal and poke to the corner. Christie there. Has to deal with a pile of snow. Inzer's off the boards. Mazzotti couldn't keep it alive, so the Meteors have to retreat. Inzer's had it knocked away. Now Coley. Christie held him up. And they'll go to battle in the corner, off the side of the cage. Christie off the window. That should have enough for icing, and it will. Minute 25 left in the first period, and a face-off coming into Titan territory. Schmidt off the draw, will send it all the way across. Radford now, and a toe stop by James Gall on that weak attempt. Christie laid a hit on Tonelli. There's a sharp angle shot that stopped, and then with help from Buckman, Gall gets the glove on top of it, and Buckman and Christie take exception to that shove. That led to Buckman getting tangled up with Gall. Face-off win for Clark. Sent all the way around, and it'll be icing again against the Titans, 4 seconds away from the 19-minute mark of the first period. Schmidt's pass gets picked off by Clark. Titans get onside. To the middle for Scriven. He'll send it to Wicklander, and he gets robbed by Raphael Tremblay. Might have been the best chance on goal so far in the first here for the Titans. Number 39 in black keeps it scoreless. .45 seconds to go. Tyler Clark leans in. Wicklander off the draw. Poked back to the line where Brandon took over. Meteors with numbers if that pass had connected as Masterson tried to jump up in the play. Scriven off the touch pass. Up the right wing side. Scriven looks to cut to the net. He threw it in front, but Wicklander got tied up in the slot. Puck rimmed around the wall. Bandu hustled to keep it alive. However, an errant pass by Scriven will make the Titans tag up as Clark then again sends it in on goal. 10 seconds left in period one. It'll get chipped in on James Gall. He'll just steer it away. Christie understands how much time is left, and he is going to let the clock drain out. The whistle went before the buzzer. That was weird. No score between the Titans and Meteors after one. We will step aside and be back for period two after this. Welcome back inside the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center. Period number 2 about to commence between the Brantford Titans and Fort Erie Meteors. I'm Reese Dumaney. Glad to have you along with us here on Flow Hockey. And that didn't take long. 6 seconds for our first whistle here in period 2. No carryover penalties into this middle frame, so we begin 5 aside. Fort Erie looking to move on. Brantford looking to move to Game 5 tomorrow in Fort Erie. 3-0 series lead for the Meteors. A number of teams around the Greater Ontario Hockey League looking to move on to round 2 tonight. Get you caught up on the out-of-town scoreboard throughout this period. Here's McCutcheon with a bouncing puck, able to settle it down, and Tremblay makes the save. McCutcheon not in the lineup for Game 3, back in for Game 4 here tonight. Shots were 15-9 in favor of Fort Erie after 1. Face-off win for the Titans. Bandu lets it go. That got deflected up off the glass. The second try, and that got blocked. If that gets through, that's in. Tremblay was down and out in the blue paint. Clark had it taken away in the corner. Sent past McCutcheon as Frank laid a body check. Donald through the middle. From behind, McCutcheon with a stick check. Donald won the race to the puck. Point shot gets blocked, and it's sent to Frank in the neutral zone. He's at the red line, couldn't get it deep. Sent back to Donald, he throws it to the middle. Meteors on the attack, a good stick by Bandu. He was down and out and slid to block the lane, but got a piece of the puck with the stick. And now icing is charged against the Titans as they tried to push the pace the other way. Minute 12 into the second period. It's like Brandon and Takis getting warnings before this face-off commences, and it's a face-off win for the Titans. Puck went to Bandu, and now he's watched by 2 Meteors. Actually, I should say pinned by 2 Meteors. Wicklander will leave it for Frank. Takis on the left side will enter the Meteor zone, chip it to the far corner where Caleb Frank goes to try and retrieve the puck. Frank still with it. Will turn away from a defender. Frank. O'Farrell's watching him. Caleb Frank still with the puck, and now those two go to the ice. Scriven got tied up as his stick was lifted. Meteors in control as Greenwald coming off a 4-goal game in game number 3. Pass through the middle to no one. O'Farrell got a touch on it. Clark took him out. Christie sends it near side to Buckman. Buckman through the legs of Clark. And over the Meteor line. Clark to the middle. Scriven fires just over top of the cage, and then he looked for the rebound. Tried to go through his legs, but missed it. Out in front, Scriven got a touch on it. A backhand, and they score! At the side of the cage, it's Tyler Clark breaking the ice. 2:28 into the second period, and the Titans have the first goal of the contest. Clark with his first of the series couldn't have came at a better time. And the Titans also lead for the first time in this series. 1-0 over the Meteors. Mazzotti in the neutral zone. Just mayhem in front of that Fort Erie net, and Tremblay couldn't get to the blocking post. Inzers through the middle. Finds Gauthier. He'll chip it to the far corner. Mazzotti will be first one there. He's bumped by Inzers. Gauthier freed it up. There's Christie firing, and that got blocked, and it's into the netting out of play. A jolt of energy into this building here in Brantford. McCutcheon, Frank, and Clark out there for the faceoff. It's a Meteors win in their own zone. Coley on the job. Zimmerman poked it by Bandu. Meteor turns away from Takis, sends it up top. Cressman now. Wanted to shoot, but Clark was in the way, so decided to defer down low. Gall with a good stick, able to block the front of the net. Cressman again. Across, low shot, and that hit something and ricocheted to the near corner. Takis through the middle, able to gain center to Caleb Frank on the right side. Takis following up, sending it off the boards. Frank had McCutcheon in front, but McCutcheon drifted down low just in case the puck went there. Coley got bumped by Takis as he entered the zone. Sharp angle try will come up off the glass. Here's O'Farrell. Sends it wide of the cage. Coley again. His pass picked off by Watt. Rolls in behind Takis in the corner. Him and Zimmerman came together, and now McCutcheon exits the zone to the red line. James Gall slides across to make one save, and he gets the rebound too. What a sequence there as Gall keeps it 1-0. And Caleb Frank is being escorted to the penalty box after the scrum along, or next to the goal, I should say. It'll be a cross check to Frank. And the power play that scored 5 times, in game 3 will go to work. First power play for either side in this game. Meteors are 7 for 15 in the series. And Tonelli will get kicked out of the faceoff circle. It's another power play goal for the Fort Erie Meteors, and they have tied the game. Greenwald with his 5th goal in the last 4+ periods. Tie up off the draw. Inzer's looking for it. And a hand pass called by the linesman. 5:08 into the second. We are tied at 1. Face off in front of the Titans bench. Buckman will go across to Gavin Christie. From just outside the blue line, sends it off the boards near corner. Cressman got a touch on it, not all of it. Buckman to Christie, inside the blue line. He'll shoot, that got blocked and deflected on the way through. Meteors come the other way. Poirier, the only man with a stick. Pepperall got one from the bench, sent it to Pepperall, and it'll get knocked away. Inzer's a chance to move ahead. Cressman doing a nice job, grabbing that loose puck. Cunningham now will throw it to the far corner. Pepperall, the only Meteor in the area code, as Buckman forced it back out to the neutral zone. And it'll get deflected off of Poirier's stick into the Fort Erie bench and out of play. Caleb Frank gets it off the face-off. Just directs it back to Mason Takis. He'll chip it ahead. Masterson looks to escape the zone. He'll use the glass. Send it back to Bandu through the middle. Nobody in white was home. Tonelli the other way. His shot off a stick, and that'll go off the glass. That's the wrong man to give it to, no matter what zone you're in. Tonelli left it. And now he's got it. Along the wall, he'll move to the net and shot it all the way through to the near side. Masterson across. Mazzotti from the line, and no traffic whatsoever. So James Gall makes the easy save. .13:02 to go, second period in a 1-1 tie. Christie from behind his own net. Wicklander tried to throw it to the middle, pass intercepted. Here's Coley, top of the circle. He'll move to the slot now on his backhand, and Gall got that one. And he's on top of the rebound to make the save and get a break in the action. Clark from Wicklander and Scriven at 2:28. Greenwald from Radford and Adamo at 5:01. Where we stand, 2:47 away from the midway mark of regulation time. Glowacki ahead. Owen got a touch on it, and then he got sandwiched into the boards by Reese Mateer. Kim LeMay ahead to Capel. He'll dump it in. It'll get deflected on goal. Tremblay had to quickly move it as Kim LeMay and Owen were both moving in. Quentin Kim LeMay off of Capel right to Owen. Owen from the circle. He'll shoot it wide. Rebound off the boards. Glowacki races for it, keeps it alive. Here's Owen with a shot, and Tremblay makes the save, and then Tremblay giving Matthew Owen a whack after. A common theme in game number 3. We saw plenty of Titans at the top of the goal crease of Raphael Tremblay for all 60 minutes. And a couple of times, Meteors goaltender taking exception. Face-off win for McCutcheon. It went to Frank, but Donald took it from him. Donald through the middle. Right to Takis. He'll go behind his own cage. Caleb Frank will now turn up ice. Goes around Alan Watt. And then he'll just chip it to Masterson. Masterson off the boards. Wide open is Donald. And then he got knocked down by Watt, and they're going to call a penalty on it. Watt without a stick. Tremblay to the bench. Donald along the wall. Throws it to the circle. He'll get it back just inside the line. Donald with a chip pass to Tonelli. Tonelli down below the goal line, gets it back. One-timer from Donald. That's a foul tip. And it's touched by McCutcheon. And the Fort Erie Meteors back to the power play where they've already struck once. So a trip to Alan Watt. Meteors now 8 of 16 on the power play in this series. Simple math, that's 50%. Not simple math for me, but that's why there's numbers on a website that calculate that. And it'll get touched by the Meteors deep in their own zone. High stick called, so the faceoff will be inside 40 Erie territory. Caleb Frank will set up right behind Quinton Kim LeMay in case that faceoff was won right back. However, it's the Meteors controlling, and they'll move up the ice. At the line, Donald. He'll let one go. Gall make the save. The rebound, stop two. It'll sit in front of the blue paint before it's whacked to the far corner. Here's Tonelli. He'll get the pass back. Tonelli watched by Kim LeMay. He got a piece of the pass, however, it still got to Radford. Radford back across. Now back to Tonelli in the right circle. Tonelli had no passing or shooting lane. Now the shot from the point gets stopped. That's Donald set up top, but it was blockered away by Gall. Caleb Frank a chance to clear, and he does. A dozen seconds away from the midway mark. 48 seconds left. And the minor penalty to Watt. Coley. That's off the stick of Brandon. Papel racing to the puck. Off of Glowacki's stick. Coley in the corner, had Schmidt with him. However, it's turned the other way. Two Titans are ahead. Clark gives it to Wicklander. Wicklander around one. And a pad stop by Tremblay. Rebound off the side of the cage. Glowacki tried to step up on Coley. And now Clark sent it back to Papel, and he smartly will go behind his own cage. Ahead to Wicklander. The puck was bouncing, so that'll go deep. Alan Watt out of the penalty box. We're back to 5-on-5. 9 1/4 to go in the second period and a 1-1 tie. Mason Takis around Gall. Off the boards. That was Capel getting a touch on it. Scriven looking to retrieve the disc. Can't do so. Gauthier tried to tie up his man. And now it's shipped away from Scriven, and it catches the netting. So play is stopped. Face-off controlled by the Meteors. Out to center. Bandu will go off the boards. Schmidt gathers it in his own zone. Ahead to Poirier. Takis and McCutcheon both hit him. Caleb Frank will go back to Isaac Bandu in the Titans zone. Mason Takis looks ahead. Got the deflection from McCutcheon. It'll go down into the 40 Erie zone. Schmidt with a backhand pass. Clark looked to intercept, but only got a touch on it. And now Schmidt with it as he sends it up the left side. Sent back in, and play was offside at the Meteor line. Elsewhere around the GOHL, St. Catharines is 20 minutes away from moving on to round number 2. They lead the Air Centennials 4-1 at the Seymour Hannah. Same can be said for the Pelham Panthers, who are up by a pair on Port Colborne. Just over 19 minutes left in the third period. That's a 2-0 game in Port Colborne. In St. Thomas, as we flip over to the Western Conference, the Chatham Maroons leading the St. Thomas Stars 3-0 with 9 1/4 left in the second period. Strathroy, St. Mary's, still scoreless. They're 45 seconds away from the halfway point of regulation. And then in Stratford, it is the Warriors up 2-1 on the London Nationals. That one has 9 1/2 left in the second period. Off the face-off, a backhander just wide by Clark as he looked for his second of the game. That'll get chipped ahead. Adamo drops the shoulder, gets to the net, and Gall had the pad down as Adamo got tied up from behind. So face-off now in the Titan zone. 7:49 to go, second period. Face-off win for the Titans. Glowacki will go off the end boards. It was chipped ahead by Papel. Tonelli's pass got deflected. Here's Quinton Kimleme. Kimleme with a pass across, and it was just ahead of Gauthier. As Tremblay went down in the crease, Meteors back the other way to the slot. This is Tonelli firing, and that got blocked. Rebound now to Tonelli in the right circle. Another block shot, and then getting a pad on it was James Gall. Tonelli again on the right side. Tried to get it past Glowacki, couldn't. And then Glowacki sent it right back to number 37 in black. Tonelli again had that shot blocked. Another try, that's over top of the net. And then a sharp angle shot off the side of the cage. Glowacki tied up below the goal line. Penalty upcoming to the Titans. As Zimmerman is forced back out to center. So a 6-on-5 advantage with Tremblay on the bench. Greenwald at the line as the Titans will touch up. And the Meteors to their third power play of the game. Penalties now 3-0. Glowacki very visibly frustrated. One for two on the power play are the Meteors. 6:39 to go, second period. Greenwald will lean in against Wicklander. Never mind, I lied. Greenwald will get kicked out. Tonelli will come in and take the face off. Wicklander with a clean win right to Gavin Christie, and he will go off the glass and down the ice. Clark and Wicklander out with Christie and Buckman. Greenwald received the pass into the Titan zone. He looks to the middle. Pass went off of Buckman. Wicklander trying to clear, but he can't get it past Tonelli. Up top. That'll get denied. Donald at the point one more time. He'll send it to the net, and that ricochets to the corner. Tonelli. Up top for Donald. Back to the circle. Minute 12 left in the power play. Donald, near side Tonelli. He'll fire one in. That hit his own man, Danny Adamo. Colton Radford. To the blue line. Donald raced to keep it alive, and now a pass is picked off. Chance for a shorthanded 2-on-1. Clark and Wicklander. Wicklander tried to come back to Clark, but the pass got blocked. And the Meteors will try to come the other way with speed. Adamo gets knocked down as he tried to cut to the net. Tonelli off the boards. He'll get the puck back. Move in to the middle of the circle. Donald. 30 seconds left in the power play. Tonelli sends it all the way across. Adamo. Gall the save, and he'll hang on. Shot from the slot is stopped by Gall off the stick of Coley. Now 11 seconds left in the Glowacki hooking minor. 4:50 left in the second period here at the Gretzky Center. Again, if needed, Game 5 tomorrow in Fort Erie, 7 o'clock start at the Leisureplex. Next home game would be Monday here at the Gretzky Center. That would be Game 6, and it'd be at 7:30. Pass got slowed up. Poirier tried to come back near side. That got blocked. Glowacki is out of the penalty box, so a successful kill as Zimmerman fires it off a stick and wide. Meteors now 1 for 3 on the man advantage. A couple of huge kills for the Titans here in the second period. Caleb Frank ahead for Christian Glowacki. As Clark moving ahead, and they're going to wave off icing around the boards. That is out of the reach of Brandon, and that will be icing. Nick Passero not a fan of the call. Face off to the glove side of Tremblay. Clean win for the Titans. Bandu at the line. He'll send it on goal, and Tremblay made the save as he saw it all the way in. I believe that was McCutcheon that got boxed out of the front of the cage there. As he tried to get into position to take the eyes away from Tremblay. It's a wholesale change for Fort Erie. Brantford will stick with the same 5. Clark leans in. Fort Erie gets this draw. Schmidt got it away from McCutcheon. Up to Poirier on the right wing side. 3 Meteors ahead against 3 Titans. Poirier to the backhand, forced below the goal line by Takis. He'll move the puck to Caleb Frank. Frank intended to get that to McCutcheon. Didn't look like McCutcheon was expecting it, because he wasn't really looking at the puck. Caleb Frank, and now a penalty coming up to Fort Erie. Frank on the right side. He'll fire one, and that's shrugged away by Tremblay. Rebound up for grabs and knocked to the circle. And now the Titans will head to the power play for the first time in the game to try and retake the lead. The Easton Poirier to the box, former St. Catharines Falcon. So he'll sit for 2 minutes or less. Titans in this series 2 for 8 on the man advantage. Both of those goals scored by Gavin Christie. Buckman over to Wicklander, and his shot will get blocked. He'll grab the rebound, though, along the wall with help from Scriven. Sends it back to Buckman. Buckman, here's Christie with a one-timer and a pad save by Tremblay. Buckman all the way across. One-timer, and Tremblay makes the save. Scramble in the crease. And it's somewhere under that pile. I doubt it's underneath Tremblay, as he was way out of position on the far side of the cage. The Titans within inches of retaking the lead. It remains 1-1, 2:54 to go in the second, a minute 23 left in the Poirier minor. It's a heck of a stop by Raphael Tremblay, sliding right to left to stop Caden Wicklander from scoring his 3rd in as many games. Fort Erie will make changes. Brantford does not. Clean face-off win back to Buckman. Buckman to Wicklander. Wicklander hounded by Radford. And he'll go around the cage. Backhand one. Christie tried to kick it to his stick. And now the Meteors will clear it down to the far corner. Gall out to leave it for David Buckman. Buckman up the right wing side. He'll drop it just inside the line for Clark. Clark fanned on the pass, and that results in another Meteors clear. Gavin Christie. He'll drop it for Scriven. Up ahead to Clark, back to Scriven. Here's Scriven. Cutting to the goal, and that shot up high off the glass. Christie will move in. Wicklander there too. Scriven now with the puck. Tried to backhand one back to Wicklander. That got blocked. Zimmerman fighting in there for Fort Erie. Less than 2 minutes to go in the second period and 22 seconds to go in the Poirier Minor. Puck up for grabs, will be rimmed around the boards. Buckman could not keep it alive, and then he just threw it to an open wing. Scriven was trying to change, but he had to go after the puck. Now Christie ahead. Clark has Wicklander behind him. Clark to the corner, threw it out in front and off the stick of Tremblay. Minute and a half to go, we're back to 5-on-5. Masterson up ahead. The Titans 0 for 1 on the power play. Had their looks, but could not beat Tremblay to retake the lead. Minute 12 left in the second. Quick shot got blocked. Rebound cleared by Takis. Caleb Frank from the corner. Looks out front and sends it there. That's knocked away. Puck will slide off the boards to Takis. He'll give it to Bandu, who's watched by Tonelli. Leaves it for Takis again. Takis through the middle. That'll go right to McCutcheon. McCutcheon on the left wing side from the circle. He throws it out in front, and if Frank gets more on that, it's 2-1 Titans. Back the other way come the Meteors. Adamo, top of the circle, and that'll ricochet to the wall. Right to Caleb Frank. He will chip it to Takis. Takis leads the rush. He goes to the backhand to shield the puck. Was watched by Cressman, and then his pass got picked off. With 10 seconds left in the period, McCutcheon in the middle. Ty McCutcheon, a 2-on-1. Kim LeMay in the middle, and it's in the net! I'm not sure if Kim LeMay got a touch on that or not. The Titans aren't going to care because it's 2-1 Brantford with 3.3 to go in the second, and it looks like Kim LeMay did get a piece. That'll be his first of the series. And coming off a power play that looked pretty dangerous, the Titans are back in front. It is 2-1. And the faceoff, just a formality here. It's 2-1 heading into the break. We will be back for the third period after this. Welcome back inside the Wayne Gretzky Sports Center ahead of period number 3 between the Titans and Meteors. Titans on top 2-1. And a do-or-die game number 4 for Brantford, trailing 3-0 in the series. No carryover penalties into the third period. 3.3 seconds to go in the second. Quinton Kim LeMay from Ty McCutcheon and Mason Takis to put the Titans on top by 1. Face off to the glove side of Raphael Tremblay, 45 seconds into the third. Wicklander with a quick pass to Christie. Christie tried to backhand one to the slot, back to Wicklander. That got picked off. If the Meteors hurry, it's a 3-on-2. Radford throws it to the net and into the glove of James Gall. Radford will get kicked out. Greenwald in to take it. That's face-off win for the Titans. Radford tried to immediately get the puck back. Now he's got it along the wall. Diving play by Clark to block the pass. Scriven tried to get it out, couldn't. Will he second try? Yes, he will. Scriven with a backhander into the offensive zone. He was stopped by Schmidt, though. Loose puck up for grabs. In the feet of a couple Meteors. Clark bumped his man. Schmidt, pass to the middle. Adamo fires, Gall to save. No rebound allowed. Shots after 40 minutes, favored for Erie, 28-19. Meteors 1 for 3 on the power play. Titans are 0 for 1. Where all 3 goals were scored in that second period. 2:28 in, it was Clark from Wicklander and Scriven. Less than 3 minutes later at 5:01, it was Greenwald from Radford and Adamo. That was the power play goal for the Meteors. And then Kim LeMay from McCutcheon and Takis with 3.3 seconds left on the clock. A 2-on-1. McCutcheon with a pass to the middle for Kim LeMay, and he got just enough to tip it past Tremblay to put the Titans up 1 heading into the dressing room as they look to hang on and take game 4. Essentially do the opposite of what Air did to Brantford a year ago. Remember, it was a 3-0 series lead for the Titans. With Air coming back to force a game 7 and then a 2-0 victory for the Titans in game 7 to clinch their first playoff series win in franchise history. And the Titans were offside at the Meteor line. Two minutes, 10 seconds into the third. Face off in front of the Meteor bench. A clean win for Cunningham. That pass will go off the boards, and that should be icing, and it will be against Fort Erie, so the face-off will come back. Puck will slide into the Titans zone. Bandu back to retrieve it. Mason Takis off the boards. Caleb Frank will get it. Move past one forechecker out into the neutral zone. Frank still with it around another. Frank chips it to himself. Shot it wide of the target. Rebound to McCutcheon. He'll go around the boards. Caleb Frank stopped it with his right foot. Clark tried to chip it to the point. Didn't get enough on it. Takis at the red line. Here's McCutcheon now. He'll fire one wide of the cage, and after it is Clark, but Thorpe got there first, and a heavy collision between those two men. Buckman now gained the red line, sent it on goal. Tremblay with the pads, knocks it away. Cressman gained the line and wondered why nobody went in on the attack. As the Meteors were in the middle of a change up front. Cressman again with it in his own zone. Tonelli. Collision in the neutral zone. Both players go down. We play on. Schmidt stopped the dump in. Kim LeMay tries to settle the puck down. It's in fact Gauthier that does so. Capel got a touch on it. Not enough. Tonelli now. Brandon had trouble with it. Off of Capel's stick. And Cressman sends it to the right side for Donald. His pass right on the tape of Gavin Christie, who tries to turn away from Brandon, who grabbed him with his free hand. Exactly 4 minutes in to this third period, still 2-1 Titans. Off the skate of Gavin Christie into the Fort Erie zone. Schmidt was the first one there as he beat Gauthier to the puck. Cressman again, that pass grabbed by Glowacki. His shot is stopped by Tremblay, and he will play it, so we continue. Blocker save from Gall at the other end. Rebound to O'Farrell, and he got dumped into the boards. Tyler Clark on the scene. Scriven, backhander to the middle, nobody home. Tyler Clark getting a touch on it, sends it in behind. Scriven through the legs. Nobody in white was there, and the Meteors break ahead. O'Farrell to the far side. Glowacki, a whack on his man. Bouncing puck in the slot. That's off a skate. Gauthier got in the way. O'Farrell will send it back in deep, and it's a 2-on-1 down low. There's a shot, goal, the save, and he'll grab it before Greenwald could find the rebound. 5 minutes, 6 seconds into the third period. It remains 2-1. Elsewhere around the GOHL, one last look at the out-of-town scoreboard. St. Catharines has added another. They're up 5-1 with 2:25 to go in the third, so they are about to punch their ticket to round number 2. It is a final in Port Colborne. Another shutout for the Pelham Panthers. They win 3-0, and they sweep away the Sailors in 4 straight. Caleb Frank tried to send it ahead. Greenwald picked it off. Back to the slot, and a good stick by Takis in the perfect position to intercept the puck. With 16:40 to go in the third period, the St. Thomas Stars down 3 goals to Chatham. It is 4-1 for the Maroons. Still no score in St. Mary's. The Rockets and Lincolns. 17.5 left in the third period there, and then at the end of 2 in Stratford, London has tied the game. It is 3-3 between the Nationals and Warriors. Meteor over the blue line from the circle. Gall the save, and he gets the rebound off the stick of Zimmerman. 6 minutes, 3 seconds into the third period. Titans looking to force a Game 5 tomorrow at the Leisureplex. Connor Clark will get kicked out of the face-off circle. McCutcheon in to take it. Won by the Meteors. It is poked outside the line. Cressman got a touch on it. Meteors will fire it back in on goal. That is steered away by Gall. Knocked away from Meteor. David Buckman. He couldn't get past Coley, and now Coley took a check from Clark. Here's McCutcheon, has Frank and gives it to him. Caleb Frank was poked at the line. Meteor lost the puck, trying to go the other way. Caleb Frank with it again, working 1-on-4 in the offensive zone. Clark with a piece. Coley touched it, and he touched it with a high stick, but it's going to go for icing. So a face-off in Fort Erie territory, 13-13 left in the third as Zimmerman and Frank will exchange pleasantries. And then Clark took a shove from Zimmerman also. Just looked away for a second from my laptop. St. Catharines has scored another one. It's 6-1 now. Falcons just pouring it on to finish off the Erie Centennials. Off the glass, here's Zimmerman. Zimmerman on goal, goal the save! A funny bounce off the glass into the Titans zone, and Zimmerman the only man to get to the puck, but he gets robbed by James Gall. Kim LeMay got checked. Here's Zimmerman. He got tied up with Mason Takis, who threw him to the ice. That pass off the boards was behind Capel, and that'll go for an icing against the Titans. 12:40 left in the third period. Still a 2-1 hockey game. Kim LeMay got a piece of the puck off the face-off. Mason Takis throws it through the air. Bouncing puck, and it got by a couple of players, one aside. Capel and Mazzotti. Donald had it knocked free by Takis. Takis kicks it ahead to Owen. Owen pinned along the wall by Brandon. Brandon now with the puck up top. Mazzotti fires. That's just wide. Rebound off the boards, and Gall got it with the toe, and he got it again. Couple of chances at the side of the cage for the Meteors, but it remains 2-1. Exactly 8 minutes into the third. Thorpe sent it to the far wall. Meteors are offside. They do tag up so they can go in on the attack once more. Tonelli tried to chip it ahead to Radford and did. Radford run into the boards by Christie, and then the puck squirts to the side of the net. And James Gall pounces on top of it. Shots 9-2 in the third in favor of Fort Erie, 37-21 overall. Tonelli will get waved out because Radford jumped. That'll result in a face-off win for the Titans. Schmidt can hold it at the line. Chance for a 2-on-1. It's Frank and Clark. Caleb Frank from the circle, and he missed the net by 20 feet. Frank looked for the puck in the slot, didn't get it. Christie to Buckman, and it did just squirt out. A point-blank chance for Caleb Frank, and he missed the net wide. Tried to go far side on Tremblay. Radford. Touch from Tonelli. Directed away by Gall. And then Tonelli took a bump from Christie. McCutcheon over the red line. Has Clark. Clark from the circle. Curls around one. Tries to tuck it home. Tremblay against the post makes the save. Tonelli into the offensive zone. Has his man in the slot. Gall the save. Rebound. It is stopped by Gall as well and then thrown to the front, but it hit the side of the net. Off a skate right to Adamo. Adamo, wait, shoots. That's blocked. It went right back to Adamo, but off his skates. Puck up in the air. Frank is there. Zimmerman, Takis, and Adamo freed up to the corner. Thrown all the way through. Off the boards, O'Farrell. O'Farrell got around McCutcheon. Here's Zimmerman. Zimmerman with a shot, and he just missed. Titans hemmed in their own zone. O'Farrell made the play across. Goal, a blocker save You could see him try to direct that puck into the netting to get his team a change. Couldn't do so. There's a shot, they score! Deflected in front by Adamo, and it's 2-2, 9:53 left in the third. Titans just unable to clear the puck and get a change, and it results in the Meteors tying the game. Adamo's fourth of the series. He's now up to 6 points. Two-two game, 9:53 left. See what the response is from the Titans. Gavin Christie throws it all the way across. That's off the stick of Kim LeMay. Cressman got a piece of it. Meteors controlling the neutral zone. Now into the Titans' end. Here's Schmidt walking in. He'll shoot one. That one's blocked. It stays inside the Titan line momentarily. Christie ahead. Chips it to the center ice circle off of Greenwald's stick. And it went right back to Gavin Christie. David Buckman to Quentin Kim LeMay on the right side. He'll chip it towards the net. Tremblay into the butterfly, able to keep it out. 9:10 on the clock. Clark went for the open ice hit. Got a piece of his man, not enough. Takis up the wall, had that picked off. Adamo off the bench, wanted the puck. It never came to him. And here comes number 11 in white the other way. Scriven from the circle. He tried to go high blocker, and he just missed the corner that was wide open. Back the other way come the Meteors. Adamo had to avoid the broken stick, which forced his teammate offside. So he had to dump it in. Papel. He works his way through the middle. A backhander. Just inside the line. Wicklander now, watched by Adamo. Just past Papel. Scriven in down low. Tried to throw it back to the far side of the net. It got blocked. Sharp angle shot. Tremblay the save. Takis. That'll ricochet to the end boards. Wicklander. And now the puck is sent up into the air and into the Titans zone. Zimmerman from his own blue line. Pass intended for Poirier, just out of his reach. So James Gall will send it off the glass. And Caleb Frank touched it, but he was offside. 7:26 to go, third period in a 2-2 game. Off the skate of Christie, right to Pepperell. He made the pass to Poirier. Poirier stops. His pass went off the stick of Pepperell. Caleb Frank in the near corner will chip it up into the air, and it'll catch the roof here at the Gretzky Center. First time we've said that all year. Cressman moves to the circle. That'll deflect to the far boards. Matthew Owen picks up the loose puck. His pass well ahead of Caleb Frank. And they're going to wave off icing. Pepperell first one back. Banks it off the boards to himself. Not a bad idea. Pepperell, a former Brantford Bulldogs draft pick. In deep now in the Titans zone. As Bandu lost an edge. Deflected at the side of the net by Pepperell, just wide. Thought for a second Bandu might have lost a skate blade, but he's back up. Pass picked off at center by Wicklander. Wicklander from the left circle, and Tremblay a glove save off the wrister. 6 minutes, 22 seconds to go in the third period. 2-2 tie between the Titans and Meteors. Tyler Clark and Quinton Kim LeMay, the goals for the Titans. Dylan Greenwald and Danny Adamo have scored for the Meteors. Wicklander helps out on the face-off. Bandu fires one, and a stick save by Tremblay. Pass got deflected. Icing waved off. Gall will play it up that left side, and Tremblay wondering why that wasn't icing. So we continue. 6 minutes to go. This is Brandon breaking in. Brandon to the backhand, and Gall got it with the toe. The 4x6 was wide open. Brandon unable to raise it into the air, and Gall able to keep it out and keep it 2-2. A huge bounce back effort in this one for James Gall. After allowing 7 in Game 2 and 6 in Game 3, only a couple have beat him in this one with a number of highlight reel stops. Kim LeMay drops it for Inzers. Inzers with a backhander, and Tremblay a little bit of trouble with that shot. Able to get a shoulder on it and steer it over top of the net. Mazzotti didn't see Gauthier coming from behind. Inzers with a shot, and Tremblay the save, and his mask has come undone, so play is stopped. The faceoff should stay in the Fort Erie zone. Should be to Tremblay's glove hand. Kim LeMay, Gauthier, and Inzers up front. Bandu and Takas on the back end for the Titans. Tremblay, mask back on. He's ready to go. One forward by the Meteors, and they will skate ahead. It's Radford. Off of Coley's stick, and then he bumped Bandu. Cressman up top. Here's Schmidt now. Pad save, rebound to the far circle, and now the boards where Gauthier chips it ahead. Kim LeMay now following up. Quinton Kim LeMay. Backhander to the front, they score! Inzers gets a piece. Titans back in front. It's 3-2 with 5:04 to go in the third. It looked like the play was dead. Deflected through the legs of Raphael Tremblay. Third lead of the game for the Titans. It's now 3-2. Inzers from Kim LeMay and Gauthier have restored the lead. Masterson jumping ahead. His pass went right on the tape of Clark, and it's back out into the Meteor zone. O'Farrell at the line. Zimmerman now hounded by Clark. Zimmerman still fighting for the puck. However, it slides to the neutral zone. 4 minutes and change to go in the third period. Chop to Clark. He's got McCutcheon driving middle. Clark drops it for Frank. His shot misses the net. Blocker side. Thought Clark might have wanted to shoot that one, and he bangs his stick on the ice, fully knowing he probably should have. Kept alive by the Meteors. Brandon to the corner. Dropped it. Cunningham sends it in behind the cage. Thrown out in front. Goal to save, and he finds the rebound before anyone in black could. And now Takis mixing it up with a Meteor in behind the cage. Can't tell who that is. I think that's Poirier. Referee pointing at somebody. And it might just be one guy. .3:27 to go in the third. And Takis is that one guy. Roughing called. Oh, both are going, okay. So we'll play 4-on-4. Brandon will sit as well. So things get evened up. We'll see where the face-off location is. It'll be inside the Titan zone. It'll be to the glove side of James Gall. Bandu off the face-off, collects it and goes in behind his own cage. He gets watched by Tate Donald, who tries to force a turnover. Bandu knocked down. We continue. Wicklander. Donald still watching him. Tyson Papel ahead. That pass went off the stick of Clark. He tries to get it back from Greenwald, and with Papel's help, he did. Papel. Shot stopped by Tremblay. Rebound taken by Donald. Here's O'Farrell. O'Farrell over the line. Looks to the middle. That pass went off the stick of Greenwald. Titans coming back the other way. Wicklander has Buckman in the middle. Wicklander fanned on the pass as Masterson got a piece of it. Meteors the other way. Donald. Threw it to an open wing. Cressman first one there. Throws it back to the front. Buckman took the puck and then got his pocket picked. Christie following up, and his pocket just got picked. Shot over top of the net. Goes all the way around. 2.25 to go in the third. Adamo gets past the diving Clark. Shot stopped by Gall, and no rebound. .2:10 to go in the third. 3-2 Titans lead. 43 seconds left of 4-on-4 action. Tremblay remains in the net for Fort Erie. Donald to the middle, and now he comes to the bench. Extra attacker on, and they score! Adamo near side, we are tied. So really the extra attacker not playing much of a factor in that situation. Adamo left all alone back door, and we are even again. No chance for James Gall there. 18:03 into the third. Frank kicked it back with help from Clark. Christie over to Buckman. Back for Caleb Frank. Frank moves to the right side. He will chip it past Masterson, go in on the attack. Thorpe got there first, went back to Masterson. It's Adamo from Tonelli and Donald at 18:03. On the right wing side, pass to the middle. Christie able to nab the puck away. Caleb Frank again. Frank from the right circle tried to sweep it to the net. Knocked away by Thorpe. And it will slide to the line. Buckman kept it alive. Long shot got blocked. And here comes Sam Tonelli. Tonelli, watched by Buckman. Tonelli slid it to the net, and it's steered away by Gall. And back the other way comes Wicklander. Wicklander tries to drive to the net. That lane closed. Tremblay on top of the puck. 59.3 to go in the third. For the Erie goal scorer number 11, Danny Gonzalez. The assist number 37 for Sam Tonelli. And number 13, Steve Gall. Top of the line, in their third period. That's Gall, Tonelli, and Gall at 18:03. Buckman left it for Takis. He was watched by Coley. Left it for Buckman. Banks it off the wall to Clark. Back across Buckman from the red line. Jumping up into the air and grabbing it is Tremblay. He'll leave it down. Scriven and Clark in the corner. With 26 seconds left. Coley whacks at it. James Gall will play it to David Buckman. Pass was behind Clark. Still got a touch on it, though. Wicklander gets it back to Clark with a dozen seconds to go in regulation. Clark tries to send it across. Cunningham blocked the pass. He'll dump it into the corner. Takis will try and freeze it along the boards. And, folks, we've got overtime here in game number 4, 3-3. Meteors and Titans tied after regulation. We will be back for the overtime frame after this. 3 goals aside. Overtime to decide Game 4. Titans 3, Meteors 3. No carryover penalties into overtime. 5-on-5 in the extra frame, and off the face-off, Caleb Frank loses the stick. Clark tried to fight for the puck, couldn't get it. 4 Meteors into the offensive zone. Off the end wall, it'll hit the back of the cage. Zimmerman had Tonelli near side, decided to go down low. It now works its way to Tonelli. Sends it up top. There's a long-range shot. That's wide. Came back to the side of the cage as Bandu knocked down his man. Puck is up for grabs. Takis will take it. Gains the red line and dumps it in. McCutcheon, the lone forechecker for the Titans. Frank and Clark join him now, and Frank hits O'Farrell into the boards. Christie got it to the half wall. Up top, Christie. Bouncer to the net and kicked away by the right leg of Tremblay. At center, Buckman gives it to Gavin Christie. Christie over the blue line, hits the red and backhands it in. Masterson is the first one there to collect the rolling puck. He was watched by McCutcheon. Coley turned it over. Inzers couldn't get a shot off as his stick got tied up. In the neutral zone, Zimmerman forced it to the far side. It'll be sent all the way around the Titans' net. Down low, Coley. Christie attacks him. Brandon now. Buckman tried to poke the puck away from him. Christie tied up with his man. 2-on-2 battle. Kim LeMay freed it up for David Buckman. Buckman chips it ahead into the neutral zone. That'll get past Cressman. Schmidt, first one there. He's checked by Inzers. Inzers scoring the 3rd goal for the Titans in the 3rd period. Adamo answering with the 3rd for the Meteors to get us to overtime. Titans with a change completed. Just over 2 minutes into overtime. Glowacki around the net. Takis is there. Able to poke it away from a couple of forecheckers. Sent into the neutral zone, and Thorpe was off balance. And luckily, the puck bounced right to his defense partner. Donald, top of the circle. Poked away from him by Takis, and he'll send it ahead to Scriven. Ryan Scriven over the blue line. Stops. Backhander to Wicklander. Thrown out in front. Clark had his stick lifted. Scriven fighting for the loose puck. He couldn't get a piece of it. And it's off the window, and a hard check from Clark onto the near boards. Meteor gets the puck along the wall. Wicklander takes it from him. Approaching 3 minutes gone in overtime. Off of Clark's stick. Him and O'Farrell go to the boards. To the circle for Meteor. Masterson there. Watched by Clark. Careful not to get the stick in the hands for number 18 in white. Adamo. Near side, Tonelli fresh off the bench. Tonelli fires, and that gets blocked. Gavin Christie in the way. Tonelli again. Shoots, and a glove save by James Gall. Shots were 47-32 for Erie after regulation. Included 19-13 in the 3rd. They've got 2 shots so far here in overtime to Brantford's 1. It's Tonelli and Owen to take this face-off to the glove side of James Gall. Puck up for grabs in the circle. Zimmerman came in. Matthew Owen. Puck did escape the Titan zone. That was just out of the reach of Cressman, so he has to race after it. Zimmerman. And the Meteors are offside. Trying to enter the Titan zone as it hit the stick of Tonelli. Again, if necessary, Game 5 tomorrow in Fort Erie. Game 6 back here in Brantford on Monday. 7 o'clock tomorrow would be 7:30 on Monday. Quinton Kim-LeMay with a clean face-off win. Buckman got the pass from Christie. Gains the red line. He'll send it in. Schmidt, first one there, up the boards to Adamo. Inzer's trying to take it away from him. Gauthier there too. Adamo tried to settle it down. Had some help from some teammates, and it'll get rimmed around the boards. Gall got a piece of it, but not enough. Knocked away from Buckman, now to the slot, and Fort Erie player going down. Titans the other way, and they are offside as Christie's pass intended for Louis Inzers got stopped at the blue line, and that forced the Titans offside. We are the lone game still underway in the GOHL. Everywhere else, our finals. Poirier had it knocked away. There's a shot. That gets blocked up into the air. Wicklander looking for the loose puck. To the corner. Glowacki trying to get away from Pepperell. Does so. Chips it off the boards. Here's Ryan Scriven up the right side. Scriven knocked off stride by O'Farrell. They'll wave off icing. Poirier there. O'Farrell will get the puck, though. Just over 5 minutes into overtime. All tied up at 3. Game 4, Titans and Meteors. A huge check from Gavin Christie. Wicklander in the neutral zone. He'll get rubbed out of the play as Thorpe got the puck and rimmed it to the near corner. Clark couldn't handle it. It's chipped by him. Out to David Buckman. Gavin Christie. What a heck of a rebound game for Gavin Christie. Caleb Frank. Below the goal line. Knocked off his stick. It's in the blue paint. Tremblay down. And he's got the puck. .5:44 into overtime and a face-off in the Meteor zone. Mention those other scores. 3-0 Pelham. They advance thanks to a sweep of Port Colborne. St. Catharines also advancing. They win 6-1, defeating the Centennials in 5 games. Those are the matchups in the Eastern Conference tonight, other than us. Coley couldn't get around Buckman, who played that perfectly. Chips it off the boards to Christie. Christie away from Brandon, up to Caleb Frank. He goes off a skate. Intended to get it to Clark, but it was blocked. Christie settles it down just outside his own line. From the red line, he'll dump it in, go in after it against his number 6 counterpart, Owen Cressman. Frank in the corner. Caleb Frank tries to kick it to his stick. Does so and sends it around the boards. Cressman stopped it, watched by McCutcheon. McCutcheon stole it for a second, but then it was knocked away. Chipped up into the air, and that's the second roof shot of the game. Don't see something all year, and then it happens twice in the same night. Head to the Western Conference. London winning 5-4 over Stratford. St. Mary's a 2-0 shutout of Strathroy. At the line, that shot will get blocked. And then finally, Chatham winning in St. Thomas, 4-1. Capel off the boards, all the way around. Matthew Owen is there. Backhand pass down low. Papel couldn't get to it. Here comes Coley at the red line. He'll dump it in. James Gall will stop it. And Capel was ahead, wanted a pass while the 40-year Meteors were changing. Takis chips it all the way around. Tremblay out to stop it. Got support from his captain. Up to Donald. Donald into the offensive zone. He'll stop in the circle. Back to the line, Masterson. Here's Bizzotti. That shot will get blocked. It ricocheted to the corner. At the line again. Interrupted. Christie takes it the other way. Gavin Christie over the red line. Into the offensive zone. Got his stick tied up. And the Meteors come back. Buckman and Kim LeMay along with Inzers to defend. There's a shot from the top of the slot. And that's off a stick and out of play. 12-16 left in the first overtime. Masadi in the neutral zone. Meteors onside, and that's deflected by James Gall out of play. We'll get you updated on all the playoff matchups so far. The 1 versus 8 in the Western Conference is complete with Chatham's win tonight in St. Thomas. They sweep away the Stars 4-0. Teams idle in the Western Conference, Elmira and LaSalle. That series currently a 2-1 advantage for Elmira, as a point shot will get stopped by James Gall. With the victory for St. Mary's, they finish off the Strathroy Rockets in 5 games. London able to force a Game 6 with their victory in the 4-5 matchup against Stratford. 12:01 to go in the first overtime here at the Gretzky Center. Reese Dumaney with you here on Flow Hockey. Glad to have you with us for this nail-biter in Brantford. Zimmerman tried to force a turnover. Takis forced it over to Glowacki. He'll bank it off the boards. That shot will miss the net wide on the glove side. Mazzotti at the right point will send it down low. Collision in behind the cage. It stayed on its peg, so we continue. Meteors are offside. They did touch up, though. Adamo has to stop in the corner. He'll get checked. Here's Tonelli. Pass across. That shot will miss. That was a good look. Tonelli sends it across. He'll get it back just inside the blue line. Tonelli will shoot and score. Meteors win in overtime, and they complete the sweep 4-0. May have got deflected on the way through. Either way, it's a 4-3 overtime victory for Fort Erie, and they march on to round 2. A date with the St. Catharines Falcons up next for the Meteors. As for the Titans, a hard-fought defeat here in Game 4. Titans led 3 times in the game, 1-0, 2-1, 3-2, with Adamo tying it with about 2 minutes to go. And in overtime, it is the Meteors winning this contest. The teams will shake hands, and we will sign off for the final time here from Brantford this season. It was a pleasure all year long to have you join us. For the man behind all the technology here up in the booth, Mr. Phil, always on it every single day here at the Gretzky Center. I'm Reese Dumaney. Thank you all season long for tuning in. One final time, Fort Erie 4, Brantford 3. Fort Erie completes the sweep.